Welcome or welcome back to the studio apartment. Yes, I live in a studio apartment, which is also my craft studio and bedroom and living room and all the things. So today we are going to do another axolotl. I had something I wanted to do. Yes, my mold is stained pink, red. They all stain your molds. It doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. It won't come off in your next pour or anything. It just stains it. So I mixed up 500 milliliters. I do have some poured off in here. That is because I am going to pour a small clear coat in the bottom. I do have the heat mat on today because I want to kind of get this gelled up. So this axolotl, we are going to do some blues, pinks, and greens. Now, I don't want a lot of color. I want it somewhat transparent. So, and of course we're going to add some sparkle in there. I hate glitter, but I don't mind the extra fine. So if you see me using chunky glitter, it's not because I bought it, it's because I got it with a kit or something like that. Because frankly, I can't stand this stuff. It's hard to clean out of your cups. My suggestion is if you are going to use chunky glitter, get some paper cups. That's what I do when I have to use it, because I do not like cleaning out glitter cups. They're just difficult and, in my opinion, not worth my time. Now, this looks fairly tinted here, but if you pull it up on your stick, you can see the stick clear through it. It's just tinted enough. And we're just going to pour this little layer here in the bottom. And no, I don't wear my PPE. I've talked about this in many videos. It's not that I don't believe you need it, because you should wear it. But I have a problem with a mask. I don't like anything over my face. It really kind of freaks me out. So I buy resin that is low to no VOCs. I always, for the last couple months, I have only been using Bond Crafter. I like the stuff. I wish they made like a polyurethane. I do have a Let's Resin polyurethane back here that I want to crack into just to see how it works. But as of right now, I use the Bond Crafter UV and the Bond Crafter 1-to-1 epoxy. And if I use anything different than that, you guys will know. So I'm going to let that layer just sit over here and chill. And we will keep this cup over here. We are going to pour some other things. Now, I have a whole slew of molds over here. If you've been around here, you know that I am preparing for a large craft convention in the Austin area for April. I know April sounds like a long, long way away, but you figure we are already halfway through, more than halfway through February. That gives me March, because that craft convention is in March 10th, 11th, and I'm sorry, April 10th, 11th, and 12th. And that is a 3-day event. So I have to make sure that I have enough product for, 3 days. And yeah, I may come home with all of it. You just never know. But this is a craft convention that is held annually. And they have already been selling tickets because this is a paid event. People have to come, they have to purchase a ticket in order to get in. So they've already sold a bunch of tickets, and we're not even through February yet. So if I come home with everything, well, so be it. I'm set up for my craft shows at the holidays. That's good, Otherwise, when I get back, I'll be working on that then. So we are going to pour this box here. I like to, the characters, yes, they sell because the kids love them. Some of the adults love them. But for me, I like practical items. So I like jars, I like trays, things that I can use for storage, stuff like that. So that is what I try and take. I try and take my trays, my jars, trinket dishes, stuff like that. This was Aurora powder going into this. I will take, my skulls because those always sell. And I will take the miniature ones and the large ones because both of those sell really well. Let's do... See, I'm always doing blues and greens because that's what I like, but... Here is a purple. We'll put some purple in with this Aurora powder. This isn't one that I have opened. Thumbtack, here we come. Now we are supposed to get a very nasty cold streak here starting tonight and then all the way through the weekend. And this is temperatures that Texas doesn't see. We're supposed to get down to 17 at night. This is Central Texas. We don't get that kind of weather. I don't have central heat and air. I have 2 air conditioners, one in the kitchen area, one in this main room. And then this one in the main room, the one in the kitchen is only an AC. It doesn't do anything else. The one that they put in this main room has a heater, kind of. It's kind of a heater, but that's all I can say about it. It's not a proper heater by any means. Because basically it has a thing to set the temperature for your room, but amazingly enough, it doesn't matter whether it's the AC or the heater part, it never shuts off. So you have to manually shut it off, and it doesn't put out very much heat, believe me. Which is normally fine for here. But it's gonna be a rough one. I'm gonna be getting out every blanket I have. I have 3 big cats that I can cuddle with. Of course, they take up the entire bed and push me off of it. This is going to be like a light pinkish purple. Squishing it to get any bubbles to come up. And then you always want to take a stick, some type of popsicle stick or some kind of tool, to go around underneath this ledge, because your bubbles will collect to there. Probably gonna have to mix up a little bit more for this one. This, I forget how much this one actually takes. That was a lid. We're gonna start off with this. That one's looking good. Here you want to make sure you get that finial with no bubbles in it. So once you get it to the top, make sure you squeeze that real good and get color down in there. If you hear artillery and bombs going off, yes, that's what it is. And it is because I live on the edge of the base. This was built in the 1950s or 60s. These houses back here, my understanding is they used to be part of base housing. So they basically set off the artillery and the bombs in the right behind me. And so I've been bombed for the last 3 days. They're going at it. They have some kind of training going on. It's a whole lot of fun. This is actually a duplex. My understanding is it was at once one house for the base. But when they got rid of these properties and built the new ones for the base, whoever bought them went through and made them into studio apartments. So I am attached by one wall to another one. She just moved out. So right now I have nobody next to me. frankly, I am not looking forward to another person moving in because I had a really quiet neighbor, and I don't know if I will continue to have a quiet neighbor when somebody else moves in. But I don't think anybody's going to be able to move in there for a while. She was there 6 years. They're going to have to probably do some major repainting, and I don't know what kind of flooring she had, because mine had been redone when the person who lived here before me moved out. So I had when I moved in, I had new bathroom fixtures. Well, I had a new toilet and a new sink put in. Now these are very old style. So, like, I don't have any, my sink is a wall mount sink in the bathroom. So there's no counter space or whatsoever. And when they put in the wall mounted sink, they did not, there was a great big door that was, you couldn't even open it because the wall mounted sink was in the way. Well, my son took down the door off of it, and we found a whole set of built-in shelving in there. So that door is now behind my refrigerator in the kitchen because we're going to have to put it back up. But, I mean, they were stupid, and they, made it so that you couldn't even get to the built-in shelving, which is your only storage in that bathroom. That bathroom is very, very small. That's where I broke my ankle when I passed out. And so it is, he did that, and then there are no outlets in this place. What anybody would consider no outlets at this point, because it is, unlike some of the studios that people are used to here, usually your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, it's all one space. This one actually has a separate kitchen, which is directly behind me. But that kitchen is the worst kitchen in the world, I'm pretty sure. It's a bigger space than most studios, which you would think is good, except for the fact it has no cupboards or counter space. None. What they did is they took, they put a door, it doesn't have a door anymore, but it used to, the hinges are still there. And when they put that door, they took out the hinges, they never updated any outlets or anything. So I have this kitchen space that is bigger than it needs to be for the studio apartment, and it is just ridiculous. I have 2 teeny tiny counters. If we go around the kitchen with the walls, the first wall when you enter is what the refrigerator is on, and that has a plug. There's another wall in there that has the stove on it. No counter space around the stove at all. It just sits in the middle of the wall, and it's plugged into that outlet. Then you have the back wall, which has 2 little bitty counter spaces, and I'm going to mix up some more here. 2 little bitty counter spaces and 1 outlet. So there really isn't any way to plug a bunch of stuff in. I have power cords all over the place in here, because this room alone doesn't have but 2 plugs in it. That's all you get. 2 plugs, that's it. So needless to say, I have power surges put all over this house. This is Bond Crafter 1-to-1. I'm mixing up another 8 ounces. The nice thing is this neighborhood is super small. We only have 12 to 15 people back here. And nobody knows that we're back here. It's a one-way in, one-way out street. We have a Dollar General on the corner as you turn into this little neighborhood, if you want to call it that. But we do get bombed by the Army. I also don't need a clock because morning, noon, and night we have reverie, loud and clear. We always know what time it is. It goes off at 6:30, again at 7, at noon, at 1, and then at night it goes off at 9 and 10. They haven't started bombing today yet. I haven't heard anything. So maybe they'll take the day off. Who knows? When they're doing that, it usually means that they're getting ready to deploy people. My son is disabled vet. He was in the Army. This was the last place he was stationed, so because the kids were in school and everything, they just decided to stay here. And that's how I ended up here, because he moved me down here to be closer to them, because where I was not a good situation. And after my husband told me to get out, I went to go live with a girl that she and I both did reselling on YouTube, and we did shows together and everything. Her mom had bought her a house in Wichita Falls, which is about 2 hours. It's right over the Oklahoma border. And she could not keep the bills paid. All she had to do was pay the utilities. Internet, electric, didn't even have gas in the house because it was all electric. So the electric bill, the internet bill, and the water bill. And she was a full-time YouTuber. And instead of paying bills, she would go shopping instead. And at one point we had the water turned off for 8 days. Needless to say, I was not happy, because her mother got my rent every month like clockwork. She didn't even pay her portion of the rent, because she was supposed to be, according to her mother, but she didn't. So literally those were the only bills she had, because after I moved in down there with her, she let her car get repoed, and I was the only one with the car, so she just figured, you know, as long as I had a car, it was no big deal. So when my son said, you know, we need to move you down here, you can be here to help out with the girls and stuff like that, plus it gets you out of that situation. He said, and I told her that I was leaving, and she was very upset about that. And, you know, I found a place down here. They found me a place down here a lot quicker than even I expected. But I had given, you know, a good 30 days notice, and my lease was actually up at that point anyway, that I had with her mom. So there we go. That should be good. Looking nice and clear. But they looked at all kind of, sorry the camera's shaking, I know, but there's nothing I can do about it. I work on a table that, I work on a folding table, one of those that you use for craft shows and whatnot. It is almost sticky enough. We're just gonna let it continue on its way there. We are going to get another mold. But what I think I'm gonna do first is, this one is looking a lot lighter. So I'm going to do this. That way it's not as let's find us another mold. They looked at several apartments down here, and this was the best one that they found, and I like it. I like living in a small neighborhood that nobody knows about. Up until recently, I was super bad about locking my door. Like, I never did, because I forget to lock my doors. I'm not afraid. But the last couple, I'm gonna do a little heart box here. This past month, I've had somebody trying to come through my door at night, or I shouldn't even say night, early in the morning. Both times I thought it was my son, and I'm texting him going, "Are you here?" And he's like, "No, it just so happened my doors were locked that time." I couldn't even tell you why. Because, like I said, most of the time they are not locked. So I've tried to be more conscious of locking my front door. I think we're gonna go with some red here. The funny thing is they were trying keys, so I don't know. I didn't bother calling the police because I didn't see who it was. My guess is it's kids, because they didn't seem to have a car. There was no car out there. My front window my front door is half glass and half wood. So, I mean, if somebody really wants in, they just break the glass. It's not that hard. But I think it was also because my car used to be here all the time. And then my son has had my car since he got into the accident that totaled his car, and that person didn't have insurance. So he's had my car. He's been using my car because he commutes to Austin for work. And so my car was no longer here. So I don't know if they thought that nobody lived here anymore or what. So my son brought over the totaled car, and it's sitting out here now. And so far, I haven't had that happen again. So, but he was hoping that that was the case, and that. But we had a bunch of new kids move in here. This area, this neighborhood did not have children in it, really, when I first moved in here. And then we had a house that was empty, that people were, they were doing a lot of renovations on it. I guess it was a drug house that was back here. And somebody bought it, and they moved in with kids. And then, yes, I'm putting a baby axolotl in the middle of my axolotl. Trying to see if I can get him to fit. Come here, you. I'm not touching the resin. I'm touching this piece because it's going to sit right in the middle. There we go. think that will work. If I can push him back a little. This is gelled up, so and then we had some people, there's another like apartments back here which are owned by a different company, but same thing is that they were, it was all, you know, base housing that they bought, and I guess there are some 3 bedrooms back there, 1 or 2, but we had some new people move in there and they had kids. So we've got some little hooligans running around here that are, their parents have already been told. They were throwing rocks at my air conditioner the one day. They seem to have calmed down a little bit, but that may be because they're in school, or they're supposed to be in school. I don't know. The guy that bought the house that was the drug house, he had kids, but he's a truck driver. And I don't know if those kids are left alone while he's gone. I've never seen a female over there, or the only other people that I've seen over there are workers, like, because he's apparently doing some more remodeling to the house. A lot of it he's doing is the outside of the house. So he does have workers over there, but as far as somebody else living there, never have seen anybody else. I'm just going around this little lip here, making sure we have resin up under it. And not bubbles. So yeah, we don't know whether those kids are being left to their own devices while Dad is gone. The school bus picks everybody up at the end of the street here. I never see them walking down there. So I don't know if they're actually in school or not in school. I mean, they're definitely school-age children. There's 2 that are, by their size, judging by their size, they might be elementary, or not elementary, middle school, or, you know, just went into high school. But now they were the ones throwing rocks at my air conditioner. And they were walking around behind there's a, I don't know how many bedrooms or anything it is, but there's a house that's, I live right as you make the corner onto this street, and he is right before the corner of the street. So they were walking around behind his house, and he was not happy because they were not behaving. They were doing, you know, the same kind of stuff, just destructive stuff. I'm gonna fill up this turtle before I forget him. He'll be a little two-tone. Here's a piece of, there, I got it. fill up this axolotl and see how much we have left. But yeah, it's always been a nice neighborhood since I've been here. Minus the few incidents with the children. Those same kids were looking through the guy across from me. That's another it's another duplex with studio apartments in it. And he left, and when he left, the kids started acting out even more. Probably because he had no qualms about telling them. And he lives right across from the guy who I'm assuming is their father. The truck driver. So the kids were being little shits after he left. They were even trying to look into that apartment. I saw one of the kids trying to get in a window, and I'm like, no. So my guess is it was kids messing with my door. But I try and remember to lock it now. Like I said, since my son brought over the car, I mean, it's totaled. If there was an emergency, I could use it. I have the keys for it and everything. What happened is, it was the first week of this new job, actually. And he was going down the highway, and he I guess he hadn't gotten, he was in another town. He was in Temple. And this person came screaming through, and they didn't have enough room to change lanes, and ended up hitting that car, which sent that car into my son. So he literally had nothing to do with it. But of course, the person that caused the accident had no insurance, so my son's car has not been able to be repaired. We went and got it from the tow yard, and he drove it back to Colleen. And it was interesting. He looked like he was going sideways down the, we took all the back roads from, it was Belton is where they put the car. And we took all the back roads back to Colleen because we weren't sure that the car was going to make it. The driver's door barely closes. You have to slam it because it was all sideswiped down the car. And so it looked like he was driving the car sideways in the lanes. It was interesting. But we did make it back to Colleen with it. And he had it sitting at his house. And we were waiting to see about insurance, make sure that there was no insurance on it. There wasn't. So now that car is, and I told him, I said, I don't use my car, and I really don't. I'm very much a homebody. The only thing I was using the car for was to help them out a little bit and go pick up the girls if they needed to get somewhere right after school for their dance and all that. But they had been doing that before I came down here. It was just easier with me. So they went back to doing it their old way. And we never see a police officer back here. We have one that's driving around back here for some reason. Oh, we have two driving around back here. Okay, something happened. We never have police back here. Where I'm sitting, I look right out my front door. Like I said, it's one way in, one way out, so. We have, the city guys are out here too. We've gotten all kinds of emails from property management, from city utilities about this cold front that's coming through here, that we're going to be at, 17 degrees by tomorrow. So his tail looks good. I'm going to move him this way so I can see his face. I want to squish his little gills. But I don't want to dislodge his eyes. Move over there. This stuff is curing because I do have the heat mat on. So it's starting to cure. Okay. Let's not dislodge an eye. I think I got his gills. Just gonna top him off. Make sure he has toes. Yeah, these are starting to cure. He's not even liquid anymore, which is great. Now, let's get another mold. I have this. This one is a ring holder. Smush that down in there. Whoops, 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 whoops. Don't go over. And the only time we get police back here is if, well, it used to be the guy who moved out across the street. Him and his baby mamas would get into it, and it was always, you know, over the phone. And then she would show up, and of course all hell would break loose. So we would have the cops out here for that. Or the guy that lives in the little house on the other side of me, he is I think he's ex-military. And from what I've heard, he's not a very nice guy. Apparently he broke both of his girlfriend's legs right before I moved in here. Now, I hope she's gone, but I don't know if she is or not. Never see anybody over there. Oh, you are not behaving. I overfilled you, mister. And let me tell you, resin runs where resin runs. It follows. So you have to clean up this part that's overfilled, otherwise it'll just keep pouring out. So there, that should take care of him. Get rid of that one. But he's the one that also mows. He must get something off of his rent because he's the same management company as me. They're all painted the same colors for the same management companies. It's so funny. So, but he mows this whole area because mine kind of leads into his. My side yard is like his side yard, and then his back is my back, but I don't have a back door or anything, so that's usually just him back there. But he does mow this. But I've never even talked to the man. He doesn't say hi, goodbye, kiss my ass, nothing. So there's a ledge pedals right here. You need to make sure that those don't have the bubbles in them. One of the very last times that we had them called out before the guy across the street moved, my son was sitting here and he heard it going on. And then all of a sudden we had one cop after another, after another, after another. My son was like, well, if somebody wants to rob a bank, this is the time, because I think the entire police force is here. I said, yeah. I don't think they have much better to do, so they just all show up. Okay, we've got a little bit more. We've got about 3 ounces. What takes 3 ounces? But we'll do some straw toppers. Let's go. Same thing here, you want to make sure you have stuff down in all the petals. Easiest way to do that is to take one of your sticks and just kind of poke around in there. Looks like this is gonna do it. Here, where this will do it. Okay, that does it. All right, guys, I will be back later on for the demold. Till then, see you guys later. Bye. Welcome back. I think it's time to demold. What do you guys think? Let's start with the little ones first. We'll do the little turtle here. He has some overpour, which I'll just need to cut off. But there's the little turtle. Here's one of our little extras. And I put these guys, I put on like a pocket hook. They're really popular. Same with the baby axolotl, but instead I put it in the big axolotl today. But okay, there's a turtle. We'll just leave him sitting up here. All this peel off extra pieces for in other makes, then you take less resin. Let's do one of the straw toppers. The turtle had no bubbles in him, and neither does this straw topper. Let's do the other one. No bubbles in that one either. There we go. Let's do the little heart box. There we go. No bubbles. No bubbles. Nope. There's the base. And then we had the lid. Looks good. I have one teeny tiny, no, 2, 3, 4 little bitty ones. I can fix those with UV resin, but the top has nothing on it. And it fits perfectly. So there we have that. Sorry, I'm shaking you. I'm peeling extra resin off the mat. Okay, next let's do, and it's all being staticky to me. We'll do the ring holder. Lost the word there for a minute. This one I'm molding, you gotta be careful of that middle piece. You kind of want to make sure that this is fully cured and cooled off. There you go. No bubbles. No bubbles. So there's your ring holder. Let me just put this mold back. Got to get that centerpiece back down in there. There we go. Mold back together. So there's your little ring holder. The axolotl's the worst to unmold, so because of his gills that I hope I got. This one is that finial again. That is the only thing that gives you a problem on this one. Alcohol, where are you? There you are. Spray some alcohol up in there. Come on. Okay, popped out. Got a couple little micro bubbles around the edge, but other than that, no bubbles on top whatsoever. Do the bottom here. This mold back. Mold back. Okay. Oh. That looks right. Okay. There's that. So no bubbles. It's a little rough spot right there that I'll have to fix. Trim the bottom, but there it is. There is that. Now for the axolotl. Okay. This one will be a rough one because he just, you got to pull the tail out first. And you have to make sure all of his feet are free, his toes, so they don't pop off. So the easiest thing to do is go around, free his feet. And if you can get one of these out of there, there's that. Uh-oh, he's still a little bendy. So we're gonna carefully remove him. Oh yeah, he's still bendy. Let's see if I can get him out in one piece. Come on, tail. Oh no, 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 no. Okay, we got a tail problem here. I lost his tail, part of it. Gonna have to see if I can fix it. For some reason that part was really, really bendy. Yeah, I gotta get this tip out. The tip was left in the... Well, let's see if we can get the rest of him out. Come on, dude. Okay. gonna have to fix his tail, and he's definitely gonna need to sit and cheer. But there he is, and he has a baby in him. I should probably say she has a baby. There you go. We'll just let him sit here and finish cheering up, and I'll gotta get this his tip of the tail out so that I can put it back on there. But there we go. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.